his son is kind of like a Zagreus. So we
Yeah.
didn't really get too much into the some of the Zagreus material, but
What if I get back into you said you got time to stay on for like the last
oh
like half
yeah,
hour, right? Why don't you get into that with
sure,
Daisy while I get back into the game?
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
tell me a little bit. Dom's gonna set up. He'll switch the watch stream, and then we'll click on it, and it'll be the video game again, just like when we started.
Yep.
But yeah, tell me a little
Okay.
bit about what you have to say about Zagreus and his
Well,
role
I
in
was
this sort of Hades mythos game.
yeah, I was really he was obviously the character I dialed into as the protagonist, and I really wanted to see what they were doing with him. And he's a very composite figure in the sense of scholars have tried to figure out mentionings of Zagreus in texts. So he has a very interesting mythic what's the word? They try to reconstruct and say what kind of myth what is the collection of material that we would call a quote unquote Zagreus myth. And there's massive debate about if we can even piece together this relationship between him. I think what I was really happy about was that I got to the hymn of Zagreus, which really kind of shows that they really did some of their work with the scholarship that's been done. So to give it a bit of context, his relationship to Orphic tradition is where outside of this game, this is where the Zagreus material has kind of come from. This the mystery traditions of Orpheus, and that also means that there's a correlation between him and Dionysus.
Yeah.
And as we learn in this game too, it sort of ushers us into that sort of relationship between the two, and actually the conflation that might have has been posited, that is that perhaps Zagreus and Dionysus are one and the same, and the hymn speaks to that in this game. It's saying that well, they do it in a very ludic fashion, a very playful fashion. They it's right. I mean, I'm hoping I'm not kind of spoiling anything about what folks can learn about it, but we learn that they both play a trick on Orpheus. So when Orpheus enters into the Hall of Hades, or the House of Hades, that they decide, or Dionysus, when you give him a potion or a gift of ambrosia that you or nectar, that he's like, hey man, hey Zag,
Hey
and why
Zag,
don't
hey
we
man, Zag man.
hey Zag, why don't we play a joke on our old friend Orpheus? And so they try to say that they're one and the same, that they're both actually the same deity.
Oh wow, that's a deep
And
cut. Yeah.
and Orpheus kind of plays along with it. And he's like, that is genius, my friend. I see it. I see the resemblance. Yes. And he kind of like goes along with it a little bit. And eventually, they call it the tall tale that they spin for Orpheus. And Orpheus is this mortal, kind of like, he absorbs it and he gets inspired and he carries it forward. And then eventually, Zagreus starts to hear that song sung in the halls, and Hades just like, you see that, you hear that. This is, look at the nonsense he's singing now, that you are somehow the son of Zeus now, and as we find out, obviously, son of in this particular game world, in this instance of it, Zagreus is the son of Hades, of course. But in the Orphic tradition, Zagreus was said to be as an embodiment also, or a conflation or a syncretism with that of Dionysus, that he's a son of Zeus in the Orphic tradition. Now, the problem with the reconstructed myth right now is that, as scholars like Radcliffe Edmonds has pointed out, who has done, he's a classicist who's done tremendous work on these what they're called the golden tablets, which there's kind of like afterlife kind of texts, ritualistic texts that were kind of like these gold plates that were leaf gold plates that were placed on the deceased, and it was supposed to help them in their journey in their afterlife towards hopefully a better afterlife. So as part of that mystery traditions of we're talking somewhere around some of the Orphic material. I mean, goes back as far as 300 or 400 BC, around in that time, and carries on through different redactions and different thinkers. And when we hear about some of the accounts of how, for one thing, there's this sort of myth that that humans came out of the ashes of Titans. So when the Titans decide to dismember this new child, this new baby, who is seen as this infant deity, who is Zagreus in some accounts and Dionysus in other accounts, that when the ashes from I think it's from like Zeus's bolt kind of destroys the Titans who dangle these toys to kind of coax the child out, and they kind of seize upon him and trap him. Zeus tries to save the child, and the ashes of the Titans is where it's said that the humans were molded out of. So it's kind of developed a sort of human origin story, what they call like an anthropogeny. But unfortunately, right now, that kind of, as Edmund points out, that this whole mythic cycle, which shows up in all sorts of different literature, like Clement of Alexandria, who also kind of who really kind of railed against the mystery traditions. Sorry, I'm getting a little lost in watching your game now.
Yeah, I really got my ass handed to me in the rat room, and I really should have just gone to fight Hades. But at least it gave us time to let you talk.
But I do find that what this really points out to is the difficulty of what we call the reconstructive practice. That, you know, when we try to look into the past of where we have only fragments, sometimes when we weave together those fragments, you know, Edmonds goes so far as to call it a modern fabrication rather than an actual proper myth that we can say is a definite thing. And then there's scholars on the other side of that who say that this is something that we should consider, that this is potentially a working hypothesis of a reconstruction too. So again, good healthy debate there. But one interesting little trinket, and I think that this is something that you know, as I'm really kind of just immediately immersed in it too. So I'm still you're kind of hearing some of my thoughts on it as I go along. But the idea that the Titans kind of enticed Zagreus, who was also seen as like a Crete from the island of Crete. There's instances of perhaps the Zagreus character or figure kind of coming from Crete. That he's given these kind of toys that the Titans give him. So I always found that kind of like interesting little thing. It's like they give him like a knuckle bones, a little mirror to kind of, you know, you have to think about him like as if there's such a thing as an infant deity, what he would act like.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like kind of, you know, lure him out and try to trap him. That one of them was a mirror, and then I thought about it. I was like, in this game, there's this relationship that you form with the mirror.
Oh yeah.
You kind of use it to change your different sides of your abilities using the purple gems. What I'm sorry, I forgive me.
Darkness.
I just call it darkness.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, there's just I think it's also, you know, it opens up the dilemma that we kind of face sometimes in mythological research and the scholarly construct of what we believe to be the case and what might actually have been the case, and sometimes the empirical data can lead to some conclusions, and you always have to make sure you're testing it against the things that you kind of assemble. So
yep.
As Bruce Lincoln sometimes mentions, you know, you really, especially in myth, which is funny enough, we have to be on guard that our scholarship does not end up becoming some kind of you know, myth with footnotes, or ideology with footnotes, or this act of scholarship becoming sort of like a myth-making activity.
Well, that backfired, chat.
Those were some of the.
No, me, not you.
But,
you did great. You did great talking. I played like shit. Dr. G, I didn't make it to Hades. I thought I was gonna, and I wrong myth. I flew too close to the sun and died before I could actually fight him. I can't believe it. Do I try?
You missed.
I missed.
You missed.
I missed. Oh, hold on. That messed me up here. Hold on.
I don't know if my delay is any better, but I'm here. I might have messed something up because I left and came back. R.I.P. Sorry.
Let's go. Do I try one more? Should I try one more run with the fists, or should I? No matter how long it takes me.
You like a punch.
Do I have time for one more, even if we go a little after midnight?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes to midnight. I think you'll probably be good.
Let's go. We're gonna go Athena.
Yeah,
Oh, you want to
I'm
see the other
really just,
aspects, right? You want to look at the other aspects. So we've got.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I'm also I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Oh,
this
thank
time with
you.
guys, so this is
Aw.
so
I
on the
wish I wasn't delayed so bad, but no, I think it's a little bit better now.
on the twin fists of Malphon, we have aspect of Zagreus, aspect of Talos, aspect of Demeter.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Demeter,
On the
Demeter,
gun,
Demeter.
on the gun, you can do Zagreus, Eris, or Hestia. The bow has got.
it's interesting. I had a conversation with Zagreus had a conversation with Achilles on one of the playthroughs I did today, and the
Spear?
the gun.
Oh, the gun.
The gun. Sorry, forgive me. Here, it's yes, Exagraph. That he talks about when that was what was it, Daedalus's construction?
Oh,
or-
yeah, sure.
Is that how he mentions it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he, fortunate enough how he missed the creation of that particular weapon, because he said that if that was out on the battlefield, he would have not have reached the fame and glory that he would have, because it's almost like Daedalus invented a machine gun before there was.
Yeah, that would have. He would have
It was
caught
an
some
interesting,
shrapnel to the tendon and died early.
Yeah. I really, I love how they just play with the lore.
Do
One thing, I guess,
Chaos and Zeus.
Now, I know one thing that maybe we didn't get a chance to really grapple with earlier on them, but I have a very kind of open. I'm doing an open inquiry of this, and I'm wondering how much of this particular game, even though it's called a mythological game in the sense of literal usage, literary usage of the material, how much the game is actually doing at functioning as a myth or functioning as myth. And I'm kind of
Those weapons of yours, that's an imaginative theory, mate. For you, mate.
I'm sorry. What? Sorry, I was talking to
I'm
my friend
thinking-
Skelly here.
no, it's okay. I'm actually kind of thinking through some things now. I'm thinking of it in terms of relationship to genre. And I did a little back catalog dive, and I really enjoyed your thoughts on the Star Wars.
Thank
saga.
you. That was something I've wanted to make forever before I finally made it. That was like a bucket list.
And I feel like there's a few things that we were kind of like-minded on, and one of them is that this idea that and this is something I kind of grappled with when I was diving into the dissertation work, is that obviously there's games that explicitly use mythology. There's things like the God of War series, Okami, of course, but when you get into some of them too, they're using multiple genres stacked on each other, and they're interacting in different ways. So like with Okami, it's using a lot of the mythology that we know from the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki.
Yeah,
And,
Nihon Shoki.
Let's fight.
But it also uses the smaller genres like the Mukashi or the Mukashi Banashi, the Densetsu, some of like the legends and that. And these certainly, some games kind of tend to focalize on one genre, but they also kind of merge all of them into one kind of modality, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that like what you were kind of mentioning about the Star Wars world kind of shifting from genre to genre, like it started off as sort of something that's like Märchen, even though it was called myth. And then later on, as we get this new iteration out of the Lucas era of expanded universe and into the legends of what Disney wanted to kind of rebrand, refashion some of that material. And also what the last, your take on like the Last Jedi, that perhaps it was what Ryan Johnson was trying to grapple with, is the real raw and honesty of legend.
Yeah.
And trying
Yes.
to
My all-time
depict
spiciest
that.
take right there.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. And you know, I think about like how much we should really kind of utilize the language of genre that is at our disposal as folklorists and folk narrative researchers,
Mm-hmm.
and really consider the kind of nuance that could be brought to game narratives. Um, and so even though this game kind of depicts mythology, it uses mythology, Greek mythology in particular, Orphic tradition and
Mm-hmm.
mystery. Um, is its general takeaway really what we might maybe consider is like, are we all believing in any of the deities of this world? Is it really causing any shaping of our own cosmos? No, not
No,
quite.
not to a
It's
huge
sort of-
extent. Yeah.
so it's kind of existing within its own self-contained, otherworldly sort of distant place. So it's almost a hybrid of the wonder tale and the myth,
Yeah.
sort of overlaid on, and also like the legend, because we are having our own personal experience of it.
Yeah.
too.
We're having a personal reckoning and yeah, crying tears of frustration and shouting "I hate you" at
Yeah.
the TV. Or maybe that's just me.
I mean, if it's not
Mike,
external, it's internal.
one of our good colleagues, a Finnish game scholar, Jukka Valho, he talks about persona narratives, and I really like that. It's like a mix of what our avatars are doing as a sort of enactment of the world, and yeah, I always find his work is really kind of compelling.
Oh, come on. Can't believe I fell for that one. Trying to conserve my health, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I gotta get an Ares and an Athena. That's like two different kinds of war. I love it. I love the symbolism.
Two different kinds of war. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like strategy and what would you say? Like strategy. I'm thinking like strategy and like bloodlust, but I don't think that's quite right.
Correct decisions, I guess.
Not quite.
Oh, and you know what? I know you had Dan on the show
Yeah.
recently too. Dan Peretti, really wonderful. I think him and I have just
love
started
Dan.
kind of conversing, and I really, you know, I really like his work that he does on Superman
Oh yeah.
and Myth, of course. I mean, him and I are going to be
Yeah.
kind of going more into that later this year.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I was wondering if you
and I
had
actually-
seen Dan. Because we both played
Yeah.
Hades.
Yeah, love the Dan episode too. It was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
I liked it. You know, he was getting into, you know, he did such a great job on packaging the Hesiod material.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting about Hesiod, I find too, and is that the beginning of the theogony
She'll be out of commission for very
of Hesiod is that it's actually a personal experience of it's what we would call like almost like a memorate,
Yeah.
like a personal experience of the supernatural. Like he experienced some kind of calling from the muses, and they told him, "All right, country bumpkin, we're going to tell you something, and we also mix truth with lies. So figure this out for you." So, and then they start inspiring him to hold the branch and to start to relate the origins of the gods.
I've
And,
never thought of that before. That's totally how
yeah,
it starts.
I have to admit that it's my reading of William Henson's work on the ability that he has to kind of bridge our folk literature with the classics, and he kind of pointed towards that as well.
Yeah.
That it's
He's great too.
It's a personal even though it kind of like we want to think of the theogony as sort of like this mythological text, that you have to kind of really maybe do like a closer reading of the text and see that it's also this guy who was bombarded by an experience of the muses who were just trying to communicate to him, and it's like
Yeah.
it starts off as a personal account.
It's kind of like whatever the opposite of the terror that comes in the night is. The blessing that comes in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasteland Shaman says another comparison that they brought up with their contemporaries was Athena and Odin. War and Wisdom.
We're getting into some Doomazil
Yeah.
tripartite nature of,
Yeah, I was
of myth, I
wondering,
feel.
yeah.
Which I always
Yeah.
tell people about the tripartite nature of myth, I always relate it to Zelda. I always say,
Right.
Yeah,
the
there's
Triforce
there's-
and everything.
yeah, the Triforce,
Yeah.
exactly.
There was a little bit of Doomsday that I tried to grapple with when I was trying to work on this one comparative chapter of Skyrim and Okami. That both of them stem from kind of you have on the one aspect one coming from the Japanese role-playing kind of aesthetic of the adventure game, and then you have Skyrim coming out from more of a Tolkien-esque kind of high fantasy tradition, but it also in some ways relates a bit to some of that trifunctional thinking of Doomidzel's work. And then when you kind of reconcile both of those and how much interaction there might have been between groups. Oh wow, you're back onto Meg.
Yeah.
Back on Meg, yeah. I didn't get Meg today yet. I got Electo into Tiffany. Finally back to
Do you have
Meg.
a favorite? Yeah. Do you have a favorite Fury?
Me?
No, Dr. G.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much you know.
I think you said you've only fought Meg, right?
I've only gotten Meg so far. She's
Yeah.
the one who kind of keeps coming up. I keep wanting someone else, but she keeps coming up. I'm not sure what's
I think you have to beat her a certain number of times, maybe 2 times before
certain
you
amount
get
of
one of the
times.
sisters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't necessarily, I can't say that to answer your question, Days. I don't think I necessarily have a necessary favorite. No.
I mean, it's hard to choose.
It's kind of like a favorite soup or something.
Yeah.
Favorite soup.
Never.
Dom, why is yours to Tiffany?
The fight is the Tisiphone fight is
Rep-
the most trading queens of all the
that's
Fury
true.
fites. Yeah,
That's
you're
true.
in a room that keeps getting smaller, and she throws everything
Yeah.
at you, and then the room gets smaller. Yeah, it's trading
Yeah,
queens. I need to get
There's
into
something that
chess.
No. Oh, hey, don't even at me. I love playing chess.
Oh baby,
So I play so much chess.
let's go.
I play internet chess.
Do I want Cerberus's collar or Chaos's egg?
What would be
I'll do Chaos's egg for right now.
egg?
Okay.
Egg.
We
Guys,
always want egg.
So Dom, when it comes to like the trifunctional reading of Greek, sometimes it gets a little there's some that you can do of it, like like for instance the apples, the case of the goddesses and the apple in Paris, and the fact that he chooses to hand the apple to Aphrodite, that's sort of seen as sort of him going towards the third function.
Yeah.
That's like one I think reading that classicists often go with.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of is this, like how it plays out in this particular game, that the door to me, like the portals that are very challenging for me to choose is when they actually place 2 gods there, and you're going to inevitably have to say which god you want to take favor from.
I think what ended up that's just like that's less of a challenge once I like had a familiarity with like how the weapons work, because there's certain gods I never want to do Poseidon in the punches, there's certain gods that I always want to pair. I always want to pair Athena with the gloves, but never Poseidon.
Right.
So I think that just comes down to like what's going to help the weapon the most.
Now here goes.
I'm close to getting, when I get 1,000 darkness, I get a 3rd life, which is what's actually going to be key for beating Hades, I think. Oh.
What I do think is really, interesting about how they decided to go with Zagreus as well is that, the mystery traditions were kind of this way for people to, like the Eleusinian mysteries of Demeter and Persephone, and the whole cycle of Orpheus trying to retrieve his wife. All of that material is that the mysteries share an interesting kind of etymology with myth. Is that they kind of have this root in mu, in the myths, in the my, and that when you that root kind of meant either to kind of keep your mouth closed or to speak with the mouth open, so closure or disclosure kind of thing, like to speak concealed or unconcealed. And so when one speaks a mythos, especially in the Homeric sense, Homeric scholars, kind of like Richard Martin, who I kind of really admire for his really thorough kind of tracing of mythos in the Iliad of Homer. That mythos was sort of at its base was authoritative speech act. And then eventually it shifts gears into what we now are kind of seeing in Hades here, that it's more like the Platonic sense of mythos as these stories of the Olympians, of the realm of Hades, and of heroes. And that kind of admixture that eventually becomes sort of like our sense of classical mythology. What's the components of it. So I think that what they've decided to do in really tapping into the mystery aspect of the game, to treat it as one being initiated through these sort of trials and rooms, is, again, I think it's just like a really smart choice on the designer's part. I really, it's almost like they really staked put a claim out there for how to bring myth and relationship to game worlds and mechanics, and I wonder what will be the iteration of this afterwards.
This makes me think a lot about the way that like space is constructed in games and how that influences the way that you play it, or like the story. I feel like people don't talk a lot about, they talk about world building, but what they mean by world building is like culture and the story, but they don't talk as often about the construction of space within games, because that's so crucial to the narrative as well. Almost in the same way that like cinematography is to the film. Like people, unless they're really into the creation of that particular medium, creative medium, then they're not noticing it as much. But like, yeah, this being a series of rooms is, I think, so important to how this is told. Because you could design this where, like, Zagreus just keeps running on a track, or, like, I don't know, something similar to any
like an endless runner game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, like, I don't know, like Mario or something.
I was gonna say, like, a Robot Unicorn Attack, my favorite endless runner.
Yes. Yeah, and he could just, like, keep going and then get sent back to rooms, but they and maybe part of it's a mechanical thing where, like, because the graphics are so high quality that it makes more sense for the game to load individual rooms at a time or something like that. But even so,
oh damn, that backfired.
I mean, I really like the fact that the rooms kind of shift every time too. So
yeah, they're like
round
procedurally generated.
To escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of tradition of the dungeon crawler in this.
Yep.
Too.
Artemis! I love the little quails.
I do love her quails.
You guys picked up on the fact that Hecate was not in this.
Yes, yes, because she's my favorite goddess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea of like the triple goddess, like the.
Oh my God! Look who it is! Look who it is! We're finally getting. Oh my God! Do I have enough nectar? We're finally getting my favorite goddess. I hope I have a present. Do I have a present for her? Okay. Yes. Or not goddess per se, but my favorite character in the game.
Okay.
Someone there?
Yes. Someone's there.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
hello, someone here.
Eurydice, thank you for making me feel welcome in your pleasant home.
Eurydice has my favorite design.
Oh, that's awful sweet of you, Your Royal Majesty. Bringing me fresh ingredients like this. You know what? Here's
So
something for
cute.
you too. Help keep you safe.
And she's considered the carefree muse. That's
Yeah.
like her epithet.
Yeah.
I love how everyone gets an epithet. Oh yes, I got the acorn. Okay. All right.
Nice,
next time we're playing the game, if I have the acorn, we're beating this fucking game. That's the most broken item. It's the item I use the most. All right.
You were asking me about El Shaddai earlier.
Yeah, El Shaddai. El Shaddai is
Yeah.
such a fascinating game.
It is. Yeah. Have you had some time to play it?
A little bit. I played it a little bit when it came out on PS3.
I have not played it.
Oh my God, El Shaddai, so interesting. My a friend of mine who's a
total
rabbi's
imagining
daughter
of the book
loved
of
that
Enoch.
game. Yeah, yeah, it's Enoch of all the books. Enoch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love like the aesthetic, like the kind of Like everyone is so like goopy. Everyone is like formless in a very terrifying way.
The one dilemma that I sort of kind of challenged myself to is see if in one of my early articles, the article on Journey back in 2014.
Oh yeah, Journey.
Yeah.
I tried to motif a game. I tried to really piece out how many of the motifs I could do in it, like what we would call like kind of like motif spotting. And it's something I think that we can start with, but it's like also something to kind of move beyond a little bit.
Sure.
Kind of, like the motif index, how to use it, in this kind of context. And that was sort of my little challenge I gave for myself on that. And I still kind of face it to this day. Like it's one thing to just kind of keep pointing out the motifs, but then you gotta at some point see if you can dig into how the motifs are linking up and what they're really kind of working for in this context. Kind of like what Dunde's called the allomotifs and the functions or the motithemes. Sorry, the
Motithemes,
How's
yeah.
it functioning?
Yeah.
Sort of like props functions. Like what are they doing in service to the game design, the morphology of the game?
Interesting. Dihydra. There we go. Okay, this is a good run. This is a good
Very
run,
good.
people. And I'm gonna use the acorn. I'm gonna get the acorn out next. Let's go.
Vanquished.
Vanquished. All right, so excited I have Eurydice's acorn. Seriously, my
So
favorite
good.
item. Seriously, my favorite item.
King Theseus is eager to see you again.
Oh, bring him the hell on. Let's go.
Well, I was just gonna say, let's go. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because now we have enough to get an extra life for the next run.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm feeling good about this playthrough. Wasteland Shaman, take care.
That
See
kind of
ya.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bunch
Yes,
of
take
people-
care.
couple
One of
people
our
are
active
heading off in the
chatters.
chat. Yes.
Okay.
Couple people have been hopping off. E-Sheep's hopped off too.
Mm-hmm.
Said bye.
E-Sheep's one of my sociologist friends from IU.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's get this done. Oh look, a chaos
I love-
gate.
Yeah, I love this room. I love the color aesthetic.
Elysium.
Yeah. It definitely offers a bit of that relief from the feeling of the previous
Yeah,
stages.
especially because like the floor is lava, and then suddenly the floor is like, I don't know, Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah.
Luscious sort of
Right.
yeah.
As like games that we can return to with guests
Please
who are
differently.
like,
Please differently.
yeah, who are like, I don't know what to talk about, and so we can just kind of like suggest them. But
Are you two seeing
it's
this?
a little complicated.
Are you two seeing what's
I am-
happening?
What do we got
I'm
here?
seeing this.
Athena and Aphrodite.
I am seeing this.
We're getting the Athena
Oh, wow.
Aphrodite duo power, which is parting shot.
Man.
Yes,
Oh,
parting
nice.
shot. My
Nice.
my cast ability, which is mapped to Ares, does a bonus 35% as if I'm hitting someone in the back.
Cheers, you two.
So yeah, this is now a bonus 35%. It like automatically hits like it's in the back. All right. That being said, I got full health. I got all these abilities. I've got the Minotaur and Theseus ahead of me. I'm feeling so good about this run. Thank you to like everyone who is still here late. Thanks especially to you, Robert, who was still here late. Daisy for staying up with me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
I'm
yeah,
feeling
the
good about
time's
this run.
going
Feeling
by.
good about
I'm
this
just,
run.
You're gonna do it. You are going to beat.
Be gone, I say.
I still want to know who that our little phantom friend over here is.
I think it's Jabba the Hutt. I'm convinced.
Convinced.
We want
Jabba.
Zagreus.
There goes my shield.
Ha, 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 ha. Don't throw your spear at me, Theseus.
Please do not interact.
Do not perceive me.
Do not perceive. Do not interact.
Do not wish to be perceived right now. Oh, here we go. Stand on top of each other. I dare you. While I am a swirling tornado of rage and blood.
And it's like some commentators on this are really picking up that Zagreus shares this kind of relationship with blood.
Yeah.
That he might be.
The title song is called "In the Blood." Yeah.
In the blood, yeah. So.
You and me, King.
You know what I this game really kind of raises a lot of interest in Greek mythology, which I'm really kind of digging.
Yes.
You know, everyone drawing their attention back to the, finding all this the esoteric readings of myths too. And just
Exactly.
kind
Not just Hesiod and whatever. Yeah. Nothing wrong with Hesiod,
like
but
the literacy, raising a bit of the literacy.
yes.
I would like to, I would say that I'd like to. I hope that this is also an inspiration for groups that we don't often get to see, representation outside of, the Western traditions of European. If we get to see some non-Western.
Yeah, I want a Gilgamesh game
groups.
after you mentioned it.
Well, like what we saw with like Never Alone, and there's some other games I can think of that that really kind of partner with groups that want to kind of utilize the medium to encourage their younger generations to take interest in their work in their folklore and in their material.
I lost Anne life, but I should be good.
You shades enjoy yourselves.
Who's still here? Sound off.
One life down would be okay.
One life down should be good, especially if I have
Yeah.
Kiss of Sticks. I don't, but
We're in this for the long haul tonight.
yes, we are.
I guess so.
Hope you're cool with that.
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay, this is the last run, I
might-
swear.
I'm
Last run, I
enjoying this.
swear.
Yeah, I was like, I might be about to fall asleep, but that's only because today was a long work day, coincidentally. And we were
Yeah,
on the
and you had to
street.
drive. Yeah, you had a long drive. Too.
Yeah, and I drove. Yeah, I drove from Athens. I basically drove.
Wrong
from,
Athens.
Yeah, not that one. I drove from Athens, Ohio to Columbus, which it's not that bad, but
no, that's not terrible.
and then I ended up basically, I don't know, immediately getting on stream. So
I noticed.
that was
yeah.
like my break.
Yeah, it's just
Mighty
it's
Artemis
like
Health.
9:20ish here, so
Yeah,
on the
what-
West
Okay,
Coast,
not
so
too
we're
bad,
still
When do you have to log off?
I'd like to watch your run here.
Okay, yeah.
It's,
When the run's done.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Poggers.
Pog. There's 4 people watching with us. Thank you, 4 people who are lurking.
Who's there? Who's there? Sound off.
it's
Drew,
like me.
Drew, you still in there?
Yeah, Drew. It looks like Drew's still here. Yeah, sound off, folks. 5 people are watching. Who else is here? Just give.
We
me
had about 25.
Oh, at the peak, yeah, we had about 25 during your interview.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you
some
so much for everyone who's participated and for their their all the questions and everything. This is
Yeah, it's been nice. This is a good stream.
It's been a great
I
stream.
think
It's been a lot of fun for
peop-
me as like a
Yeah.
someone who loves myth.
Yeah, people I think on the stream sometimes they
Having
will
fun.
come in just having fun. What up? They will stay for. They'll come in just for the interview and then kind of leave or watch a little bit of the game and then leave or whatever. Because we post the schedule on our Instagram, so people kind of
Okay.
know when we're gonna do the interview part.
oh
and
that's
yeah,
good. Yeah, so they can know what
yeah.
segment and
Yep.
they have, yeah,
Yep.
very cool.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
usually the same schedule, but sometimes we have people who want to be on a little bit earlier, a little bit later, depending on time zone stuff. So that's kind of why we put when we're gonna put the interview on like day of, and then we try to do it on Sundays. Sunday before and then the day of. We post a schedule.
I don't like this satyr. Daisy, do you know what a satyr is?
Do I know what a satyr is?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like in the context of this, a satyr's like half goat, half person.
Well, I'd say half goat, half person, half party.
Well, I mean, you can, yeah, that's true too.
Going back.
He's like throwing up
Yeah, at the
on
end
me.
of the tragedy plays, they used to have the satyr, which is sort of like the satirical
It's a pleasure, Charon.
event that was actually like oftentimes we think of just like the tragedy as having like 3 parts, like a trilogy, sort of like the Oresteia of Aeschylus and that. But sometimes there would be what would be called the satyr's play, sort of like afterwards, to sort of like bring everyone down, like kind of bring some levity to the
Yeah.
to the drama.
I think my stream just hiccuped there.
What? Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it do be like that. Oh, I don't have money for it. No.
Oh.
I'm sad. Why am I so miserable?
Why?
Here it is. Oh, I wish I had it. Okay, 2 full health, almost full health, 2 full lives. I'm gonna fight Hades.
I
I'm gonna
think you
do
could
it.
do it. I think you could do it. You're so close.
Ugh, I wish I had a
Oh,
little more
what?
money to get 1 more. Oh, that's what killed me last time.
I think you just try it for the sake of it. Maybe
For the
maybe
sake
you're
of it,
gonna-
yeah. This
Yeah.
better be the run.
Your favorite.
Okay.
Terrifying Cerberus
Grumble.
accepts the fetid sack and scans the
Grumble,
darker
grumble.
hole for where best
You've got the acorn.
Yes, what? Oh, I don't. I instead of the acorn, I picked
Oh, right.
Skelly's tooth. That gives me more
Right.
more health when I regain a life. You know, because Skelly's always falling apart. He's like that.
There he is.
Oh, I guess this means Demeter will start coming down now that I've seen the surface.
I hope so.
Yeah, because she doesn't give you her favor until you've left the underworld at least once.
Yes.
No, you're right.
Okay.
It seems pretty good so far, but I will reserve judgment till I've had my fill. I have to say though.
Let's go. Having Fung and Drews and Daisy. And
Yeah, and me and one other random person watching.
We're gods, boy. Killing one another is a lot. Although I always thought I was above it. I told you that you cannot leave this place. It seems I must enforce my rules
Oh,
myself.
is this so
I'm sending you home. Now.
sending you? Go to your room.
Basically.
You're not the boss of me.
You are my real dad, though.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
I shall be right back.
Oh. Why does Zagreus listen to My Chemical Romance?
Oh, the hair. It's the haircut.
It's the hair. Okay, yeah. It's probably the hair. Huh?
Oh, I forgot I.
Hades is just really hard to kill. He doesn't get like multiple lives, right?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he does. That's okay. I was like, I don't remember if he got like. Ugh. Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Where'd I learn it from?
Yeah.
So this Blade Rift doesn't hit him fast enough. It's good against, like, enemies, but not Dad. Damn. I really wish I had Athena mapped to my dash. It's what I try to get as fast as possible. It's such a good ability.
Yeah.
That way you can just like run and be invincible. Instead I gotta punch. Damn. Okay. Almost got greater call up. Ha 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 ha! Suffer and die.
War God would be here.
Yeah.
You dare lash
The
out against me like
vortex.
this boy.
That's what I'm saying.
Such utter disrespect.
Ah, I got nailed by that one. It's like I saw that coming in slow-mo. Where is it? Those skulls will explode and make my life so much worse if I don't kill them first. Okay, okay. Oh, he's so good. Have you seen this fight yet, Daisy? At all?
I saw it when you last time we met, like on Sunday, I think.
Oh,
And
sure.
then I just saw a little bit. I did not see the full extent of your battle, but I did see a bit of it.
I'm just absorbed in watching it.
It's the music.
Me
It's
too.
so good.
I get entranced in it. This is what I think
Yeah,
of
and
about like
good
fantasy metal, a lot, and its role in the popularization of certain video games.
You do?
Yeah, fantasy.
That's a good.
metal
That's a
is
cool thing to think about.
Yeah, like what? I think that
Oh, I'm cornered.
obviously, like sound design is crucial for making games immersive and interesting, and
Sure. Yeah.
but fantasy metal is like there are certain tones of
No,
games,
bad. I
and
didn't
particularly
see
the
that.
ones that like use fantasy metal. I think get
That's why you.
oh,
That's why you.
damn.
Oh, that's why you have to break the
Yeah.
skulls. I forgot about
Oh.
them. Oh.
I think they have lasting power. Rip. Well, you know what? That's
I am
okay.
physically in pain after coming after
Poor
going through all
hands.
that.
Poor
All right,
hands.
you know what? You know what? Next time I do this, I'm gonna have another life.
That's
I'm gonna
true.
be better off. I'm gonna be better off, and I'm confident. I'll get closer
I
and
love when
closer. We had a marathon stream. I'm about ready to pass out, but
did.
it was
Same.
so great to have you on.
Oh
Yeah.
man, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
This was,
and we gotta
I could
we
not
gotta
think
have you
of
on
a
for.
better evening for this. This was
Oh,
a real
thank
kind of
you.
bringing together of a lot of my own interests, and I just wanted to support you guys as well. So this is just an
Aw.
amazing
Aw.
little team and project that you have going here, and I just wanted to support that as well. So
Thank you.
thank
Thanks.
you guys so much. So
Yeah. This was
I've
awesome.
really enjoyed my time here.
Well, we'll figure it out. I got some.
Everyone who stuck with us for the long haul, thank you.
Thank you all.
GG's,
Thank you.
GG's to Dr. GG's, of course. I want to have you back on for Okami, and
Yes, it'd be great.
I gotta go to sleep.
Me too.
Night,
All right,
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
I love Tuesdays.
Have a special emotional have had meaning to me on many levels. Making quotes helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way out of the labyrinth.